we are. Who would have thought? Here we are. My name is Jacob. Welcome back to or welcome to Ty Reads if you're new here. How have you been? I've had a great month off. A little shaky on the mental part, but also great. Not having school is a wonder. I feel so good right now. Well, that's a topic for another time. So I had a great month off. Thank you so much for, if you're sticking around, if you're watching this video. I had a great month off. And in that time, I managed to read, hold it, 8 books. Who would have thought? And not all of them were the smallest of boys. With all that said, I am excited to start filming again. I have so many, let me just, I have so many more fun plans for February and the rest of the year. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I've been holding back on so many books that I wanted to read because I'm like, oh, there's a great video idea. I want to do that, but I'm taking a month off. So I've been reading some books to fill that void. I'm also trying not to buy books, but you'll see a video coming up where I go book shopping, but that's the first time I went book shopping in a month. So thank you for the applause. Anyways, I digress. Let's get into this. Now, you know, if you've been here for a bit, you know I'm terrible at 1, at reviews, and 2, at wrap-ups. So I'm gonna do my best, but I make no promises. You're here for me, right? Maybe you're here for the books. Maybe you don't know why you're here. Well, here we are. Let's get into it. So the first book I read, which the first 2 books were a part of one of my tired winter reads, days of reading winter thrillers. The first one was No Exit by Taylor Adams. I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, though there were some parts of the pacing that were a bit slow for me. Watch that video for more of my thoughts. So I'm not going to explain this one and the next one too much because of that, but yeah. Listen, I'm rusty. I'm dusting off those thoughts that I usually have. Next up is One by One by Ruth Ware. I really enjoyed this one. It was so close to a 4-star or 5-star. I gave it 4 stars. I really loved the atmosphere. I felt like I was there on the ski lodge. This is, I guess I could give you a summary. So this one is about a group of workers who are going on like a ski retreat to like finalize sales and stuff because they're trying to sell this company, but certain people don't want to sell it. So we follow the perspective of an ex-worker there who still has shares in the company, and we follow the worker at the lodge. Murder ensues, death ensues, thrillering ensues, and yeah, it's a fun like social company. It's like Spotify. It's like that part on the side of Spotify of like when you can see your friends following, but you can follow like anyone and you can listen at the same time. It's really fun. I really enjoyed this. This gave me hope for Ruth Ware because I read Turn of the Key and I was just like, okay. But yeah, No Exit. This is about this college girl coming back home from school to go see her mom in the hospital who is dying of cancer, I think. She, in the middle like of a terrible blizzard, she gets stranded at a rest stop with a group of people, and she goes out to see if she can get cell reception because of course she's not going to get cell reception in the middle of the rest stop. Why would she? So she goes and she stumbles upon a van with a child locked in a cage inside of a locked van, and she is determined to save her. So that is that, which I just saw on Twitter today, the trailer for this movie. I did not know this was turning into a movie. I am very pumped for that. I think it's gonna be pretty good. Although I saw someone say this would make a better video game, and I kind of agree. But let me know if you've seen the trailer for this and what your thoughts are on that, because I would be intrigued. Alright, so those are the books you've already heard about. Let's get into a little bit of new stuff. First up is All Systems Red by Martha Wells, first book in the Murderbot Diary series, and I quite enjoyed it. I gave this, okay, I say that, but I gave it 3 stars, but it was an enjoyable 3 stars. I really loved Murderbot as a character. What fell short for me was the plot. I just wasn't too like in love with it, but I hear a lot like the first one isn't the best. It's like the latter ones that really like pick up and grab your attention, and it was a quick read. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed what the heck? I really enjoyed their writing, and I really want to pick up more. So I'm sure once Amazon has like a buy 2 get 1 or buy 1 get 2, whatever their deal is, I'm gonna pick up more of these just because it's so expensive. $18 for this for like 100 pages. Yeah, it's like 160 pages is a lot to swallow. So I'm gonna like hold off on that, you know? Next up is a reread of one of my favorites, and that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is a book where there are 3 Londons, and there's only certain people that can travel between the worlds. They're very rare breed. There's only 2 in the world, in all 3 Londons. One London is full, vibrant with magic. That's Red London. Grey London has no magic. All of it was lost. And white magic is overrun by magic. It's very like brutal. Black London is like totally overrun. Magic is the ruler. It's very bad. I really enjoyed this. I liked the audiobook experience. The first time I read it physically, and this time I listened to it audibly. So I quite enjoyed it. Really, the story kicks off when Kel brings back a trinket that he's not supposed to, even though he does anyway, and he's the royal servant of the king, but he's like the son of the king, but not the son of the king and queen, because like he's not that. But he was adopted, but he's not that. You'll find out. So he does it anyways, because like a man's gotta have a hobby, right? Shenanigans ensue. So 5 stars to this. Loved it. Can't say enough for that. Next up is this was a good reading month. Like, I'm really happy with how we're kicking off the year. 2022 has hopes for me. Next up is Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel, book 1 in the Themis Files, and I really enjoy this. I got this for Christmas. It's told in like journal and like interview style, and I think I listened to it audibly as well. Yes, I did read this with the audiobook, which was also very good. It had a full cast of characters. I really enjoyed it. This is about a woman who like stumbles upon a room with this weird metal made out of it and a huge arm, I think, or some part of a giant, celestial giant, and it was giving me very Marvel's Eternals. If you've seen that, you know. And they are reconstructing this alien being and seeing how it can be used, and of course, America being America, they wanted to use it as a weapon of war, but the lead scientist is saying no, and I want to know what happens next in the story, so I'm very excited. I almost picked it up today, but I didn't, not yet. But I'm excited, really excited to continue this. Highly recommend this with the audiobook. Next up is a book that was supposed to be in that winter thriller reading vlog, but it wasn't because I couldn't do it in time. So it's The Sanatorium by Sarah Pearse. This is a mystery thriller set in a winter scene set in, well, really, it's, okay, I'm gonna take 2 on this. I gave this 3 stars. Yep. Indeed, 3 stars. This is about a detective and, well, a cop who's like taking leave after a traumatic event, and they are going to this new hotel that used to be a sanatorium in Sweden, I think it is. The Swiss Alps, baby. Her brother is engaged, so they're celebrating the engagement, but they haven't talked in forever since their mom passed. And did she pass? I can't remember. A kidnapping and then a murder happens, and it sets, and like, of course, because we're in the Swiss Alps, an avalanche happens, and so they're locked in there alone. They have to rely on our on leave police detective to handle the investigation, because they only have access, because no one else can come up to them. But it really like pushes her to like go back to her job, which is very interesting to see that mental workings of her. I quite enjoyed it. It was okay. There were a lot of parts where I was like, can we move on? I really enjoyed the setting of the wintry Alps in the sanatorium, and like the history, like how that played into the characterization of the murderer and all that. It was a fun, this doesn't sound bad, but the fun killing. I love the killing. It was a fun time. So yeah, that's that on that. Next up is, I'm daring to say it now, one of my favorite top 10 books of the year. Top 10 books. Top 10 books in January. Are you kidding me? And that is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. When I tell you, this book had me crying. This book had me laughing. This book had me clutching my pearls. The anxiety was heightened. I listened to this with the audiobook because it's a chunker and I needed my focus to be lasered. It was so... It's making me want to read his like first series, the Aragon series. But this is about a woman who is like on a place exploration. Sure. And she stumbles upon like an ancient ruin, and she finds an alien symbiote that she touches. Of course she touches. I think she touches it accidentally, actually. So like, I'll give it to her. But she touches it and it completely covers her, and now it's like one with her skin. And she, of course, they want to use it as a weapon, or they want to find out how it attached to her so they can use it as a weapon. And then she is determined to say no, 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 no. But there's the alien, like symbiote Xeno, I think. Wait, hold on. Or Softblade. That's what it's called. Is like telling her like all these other like what's happening, because there's an invading aliens that are coming and like destroying a lot of like colonies because they're sensing this the Softblade, they're sensing it and they're wanting to kill it because they like think it like is harmed them in the past. So this was a whirlwind of a journey. It is very heavy sci-fi. I loved it. I didn't think it was too hard to follow. I don't know if that was because of the audiobook, but if you're new to sci-fi, I wouldn't. Maybe this be like the second book you pick up. Maybe start with something a little lighter. Maybe, you know what, you could start with Sleeping Giants. This would be a good one, and then go into this, only because it is longer. It is more fantastical and like the science aspect because it's set in space, but I love this book so much. 5 stars. And the final book that I read, I actually listened to this, but I had the physical book as well, which that is Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. And this book I gave 5 stars again. It was so good. It just had such like a deep, like, it was hitting so hard. But like, it's about this like girl who's a singer, Enchanted, who is a singer, and she goes to this like singing competition, but she doesn't get accepted into it. But there's this world-renowned pop star that like takes her under her wing and promises to like train her and get her well known. But he preys on her, he grooms her, he then assaults her. There are trigger warnings for this, and they are provided in the beginning of the book. There are mentions of sexual abuse, rape, assault, child abuse, kidnapping, and addiction to opioids. So please be careful of that if you are sensitive to that. I just think it was very poignant, and like talking about how I work with children, so I see how impressionable they are with outside forces onto them, and how they look up and how they'll do whatever like you say. If they look up to someone and they think of them as their idol or someone who's a mentor to them, they'll do anything they say, even if it's bad. And that was really like channeled into here. And I think it's like just such a topic that needs to be talked about. And it's a hard reality, but it's a reality that we need to face. And she says it's not about R. Kelly or his allegations. It's about her own experience with this type of abusive relationship that she had when she was younger, and that older figure in her life. So those are all the books I have read. They were wonderful, wonderful. Oh, we've got a little blue theme going on. Very lovely colors. Thank you so much for watching. I am so happy to be back. I hope you're happy to see me. If not, don't tell me. Don't tell me, please. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, or whatever. Please, let's leave the waving emoji. A nice like, hey, how you doing? Welcome back. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've had a wonderful day, night, or whatever, and I hope you had fun celebrating whatever you may be celebrating. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.